out shopping and we were at the beach. This time we're doing grown up. On one sweltering summer day, you were in the living room with Cove, listening to the sounds of the birds chirping outside the window while you lay across the rug on the floor. Cove's dad had dropped him off earlier, and your mom had left the two of you along with Lizzie to play amongst yourself. It'd been too hot to go outside in the afternoon, at least according to Mommy. So your sister was starting to get impatient waiting for her golf class that evening. Apparently our sister does golf. Where are they? They're doing golf and they're by the beach. The three of you had trouble finding something fun to do. The beach and the playground were off limit, and you felt that it was too warm for anything like playing with your fuzzy toy animals. Then suddenly a light came to Lizzie's big brown eyes, and her smile spread wide across her face. Having an idea gave her a new wave of energy. Since we're stuck inside, we should be adults. Don't play outdoors anyway. They're always inside telling everybody they're too busy to play. She really is Angelica. Thank you, God. I said why, and it'll be fun. Duh. What do they do inside that we don't, besides use the phone a lot? Excluding a small huff, Lizzie decided to ignore Cole.
What do you think?
Do you want to? I don't know. Please, Lizzie, Yuki, when have I ever had a bad idea? Whenever we play with the Cole replies, I wasn't asking you. I'll try, but that sounds boring. It's not gonna be, I guarantee. They seem more determined than ever, and you can only sigh. Satisfied that neither of you were about to bail on her, Lizzie thought over her options while you watch. After a few seconds, she clapped her hands together and beamed, apparently having settled on something without asking either of you.
Okay.
I'm going to be a professional golfer. You and Cole can be a beach volleyball player, a gymnastic, or a tennis player. Why can't we pick anything we want? Because I have a fun idea. That's why. And we had to play sports as adults? Yup. There are other kinds of sports too.
Right?
It isn't the same. What do you think, Yuki? Doesn't that sound super cool? You want to be that, huh? I would probably just nod my head. I'm not even gonna lie. Apparently, I expect the music reactor because reviews apparently practically lit up. Really, which one you gonna be? Cole was not impressed with Lizzie's attitude, though he didn't bother talking more about it for now. He thought with the list of possibilities: beach volleyball, gymnastics, or tennis. Let's see. We have choices. Out of all of them, you prefer to play? I mean, right now we gotta go with the one that's really hot in anime. If you couldn't spend the afternoon at the beach for real, then you might as well pretend you were there. You couldn't even wear your swimsuit to make it seem more realistic, although Lizzie probably wouldn't let you run off and do that now she had you here. Yes, that was clearly the top option. Okay, I'm gonna be a volleyball player. How about you, Cole? I have a volleyball team too. Lizzie threw her hands and making a noise sound. I think she wanted him to pick something else. You guys can't be the same thing. That's not how it works. God, she reminds me of my sister. You didn't say that. The rules was picking from the list. You can't keep adding more. Lizzie looked at you and then shook her head, resigned to losing this battle, but not the war. Fine, you both fight off it, but you're on the same team because there's only one. Lizzie's ponytail bobbed when she practiced stretch her arms wide. The Olympic team. What? We're Olympic athletes who just competed in the Olympics, which is ironic because they're just finished. Cole didn't seem all that impressed with the announcement. He made a face and adjusted his glasses on the nose. That's really Pacific.
Rude.
That's what makes it fun anyway. Liz marched back and forth in front of you guys, getting lost in her own imagination. I won all the gold medal, and people are calling me the Nets Mickey Wright. Wow. Who's that? Lizzie stopped on the spot, turned on her brown eyes shining with impatience. It doesn't matter if you know who she is, it's a golf thing. You guys want medal too? Your team placed at silver is more real if we're not all first place. Not bad, nice. I remember them. It may not be first place, but you know that silver medals were still really good to get at the Olympics, and it's not easy again. But it isn't gold.
Sorry.
Lots of people lose at the Olympics in the breaks. And you're the one who did, not me. With Pat taking back Cole's declaration as though the thought of her losing was completely absurd. No way, it wouldn't make sense. I'm already practicing my golf game. She took golfing stance to make her point, pretending to swing her glove and hit an invisible ball. So what kind of house do you want to live in? O'Hara and James mad about winning, but thinking about where he had lived as an adult appealed to him, apparently because he looked back at Lizzie with some sort of anger fading. I'm going to leave on the beach. Liz made a face at him, poking out her tongue. How boring, we already have that. Not like the normal house here where the street on it, right on the sand by the water. Just like that, all the tension was back. You haven't even had the chance to choose where you want to live. It's not very fun of Smart Cove. You can't live on a bunch of sand and shells. But I want to, and I will. I mean, you could, and people have. Narrowed his eyes at Lizzie, even though she stood half a head taller than him. You didn't give out a list of things to pick from this time. I'm picking that. Why are we pretending if we can't imagine anything?
Jeez.
Well, I'm going to live in a mansion far away from here. Far away from you. One with an indoor pool and a place to practice my award-winning golfing. How come you were yelling about mines when your idea is even more impossible? Oh, Flesh Red, her hand ball into fist at her side. It's not possible, and it's better than yours. Disagreements always seem to crop up when the two of them were together, and you always felt like you were stuck in the middle. It looked like I was about to cry. Don't crack off, please. But when it comes to the type of hand, this time you thought. I'm just tired of both of them. You didn't engage with the brick and instead dreamt up your own dream house. I would literally I have time for you too. I don't got time for this nonsense. Just shut the fuck up. You can swim wherever you want if you live on the beach. You can swim at any time from where we live now. Being a little closer doesn't mean anything. Says you. The Sims scrawled at each other. You're being so you. I don't get what you want. This game doesn't make sense.
Ugh.
It does. You have to be realistic. I said that having a match is not realistic, child. But you're not. Anyway, too makes them stop. It seemed like the two of them could just keep working each other up as long as they could. Nothing you said so far kept them from being mad. Yeah, because one pick one. They didn't feel like agreeing because Mom walked into the room. Thank God. Lizzie rushed over to hanging on the hem of her skirt, poking out her tongue at Cole. Nee. Lizzie, Yuki, it's time to get ready to go.
You alright with that?
So you have to leave already, Cole. Their mommy said she'll walk you home so you won't be left in the cold. Cole was still glaring at it, his face red with anger. I can go by myself. But...
Bye.
Yuki. There's still a harsh edge to the brief, but you knew it wasn't you he was mad at. Without giving Mom a chance to stop him, Cole stood up and stalked out of the room, shoulder drawn tight.
Huh?
Okay. Worried, Mom turned to look down at you and Lizzie. You two were playing nice with our new friends, weren't you? I'm going to tell the damn truth. You were playing pretend and things got intense. They were like cats and dogs. His mom put her hands on her hips. I fucking go for you. Elizabeth. I told you to be kind to him. He's having a hard time right now. Faced by a tiny frown. I know I tried, but he was.
That's
Not
enough.
both. We both know you can show someone a great time when you put your mind to it. We're going to apologize to Clovis dad over the phone when he gets home from work tonight. Lizzie hung her head, dragging her feet across the ground in front of her. Okay, Mom. Good girl. You caught a piece of Lizzie sulking to herself about how it was his fault too, but it was over. Alright, we better get a move on.
Let's go.
Let's go, kids. Nellian, where did you leave the keys? Car keys. Mom hustled you all out the door, and you noticed during the car ride golf practice that Lizzie was quieter than usual. She was used at first to request which music to listen to in the car, but she didn't say anything. Your parents noticed she was in the mood to be bothered. They gave her space, and Mommy just asked you what you like to listen to. Put some DMX. You have to see it brighten up her right away, and she started singing along with you. Soon enough, her bad mood was a thing of the past. When the car ride was over, you spent the twilight hours watching Lizzie hit things with other girls at her age. I wish I could read so much better. You didn't know much about golf, but you could tell that she really liked it, so you sat with your mom and tried to puzzle it out. It was nice sitting outside after being cooped up in a house all day, and you stretched your legs to let the last few minutes of the sun warm your skin. When the sun was finally out of sight, dripping behind the horizon, you all got ready to leave. Instead of going straight home, your mom took the family out to dinner. You went to a restaurant you had all been going to ever since you could remember. The whole afternoon had been a bunch of shouting you hadn't been able to stop, but you could tell that all this helped Lizzie be less angry. The car ride was quiet, with only the rain providing escape from silence. Lizzie had been in better spirits now, but the closer you got to your neighborhood, the more she wiggled in her seat and frowned out the window. She knew what was coming when you all got back home. Clearly, she was dreading it. Soon enough, Mom was turning onto her street and then reversing into the driveway. When she cut the ignition, it was dead silent. No one spoke, only unbuckled their seats and opened their doors. Lizzie was the last one out. Once everyone was inside and done taking off their shoes, she propped her hands on her hips.
So,
Now that Mr. Hilden's car is in his driveway, so he should be back from work, that's good news, isn't it, Elizabeth? You and Cove can hash things out before the day's done. Lizzie didn't complain or put up a fight. Her head ducked so she didn't have to meet She nodded once. Good, let's move this to the kitchen. Mom went over to the house phone, the rest of you following behind her. Mommy put a gentle hand on Lizzie's shoulder as they walked side by side. You watched him from the back. This was only happening because you told on Lizzie. Listen, I know as an adult, I wouldn't like to do it, but it had to be done. Being a telltale didn't feel good, and you wouldn't want someone else to tell your mom everything you did. Still, your mom had asked directly, and you wanted to be a liar even less. The four of you stood around the kitchen in a lopsided square, and all eyes were on Lizzie, who kept her gaze on her foot. And plus, she was picking with Cole, so might as well hash this out. You remember the number for Cole's house, don't you, honey? Liz jerked her head in another nod, sullen without further prompting. She stepped forward and she began to dial. Mom reached over and pressed a button on the base. Suddenly you could hear the phone ring. She turned on the speaker. God, they have an old school phone. The phone rang a couple of times, then stopped. Mr. Hilden's warm voice came through the other end. What year is this? That's the phone. Evening, Hilden's residence. Lizzie looked over at Mommy, unsure. She nodded encouragingly. Hi, Mr. Hilden. Is Lizzie? It's Lizzie. Can I talk to Cole? Lizzie, and what a surprise! But of course you can. Say hey to the boys. Century as usual, though Devin meant it when he said it was a surprise. You thought hard and you were sure that your sister had never called Cole's house before. Mom spoke up before Mr. Hilden or Lizzie could say anything more. Her arms were crossed over her chest, her lips pursed. Hi, Cliff. Neil and Yuki and I are here. Good evening. We're sorry to bother you so late. I might as well. Hi, Mr. Hilden. The gang's all here, huh? Is something the matter? Her voice grew a bit concerned. Mommy was quick to reassure him. No, well, yes, but it's going to be okay. Lizzie and Cove got into a bit of fight today. We were hoping that the two of them could talk and make up. Is this a good time for you and Cove?
What?
A fight? Cole didn't tell me anything about that when I came home. It does explain the funk he's been in tonight. He chuckled lightly, despite that it didn't seem like he really thought it was funny. Anyway, it's good you didn't catch us at a bad time. I'll go grab him for you. Oh, get the fuck over here, boy! There was some scuffling on the other end. He must have not gone far because you could still hear him calling out. Cove! Cove! Cove, there's someone on the phone for you. After a beat of silence, there was more muffled talking from Cole's dad. Come on, bud. Lizzie called just so she could talk to you. You're on the other end listening too. Don't you want to say hi? It took a back and forth, though the conversation seemed one-sided since you couldn't hear Cole properly. Eventually, Cole took the phone from his dad.
Hi.
Hello? Hey, it's Lizzie. Yeah, I know. Dad told me. Coach tone was defensive. Lizzie turned to Mom, scrawling. One certain look from her door, and Lizzie turned away. Child to the boy.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna say I'm sorry for not playing nice with you today. I won't do it again. Eyes were downcast, her voice low. You could tell she felt uncomfortable about podging Cove in front of everyone. She was still being drained about feeling bad. Cove must have realized that too because he sighed quietly. I want gold, and I think Yuki should win too. Really? He thought you were worth gold even though you hadn't even wanted it? Lizzie was momentarily stunned by the silent by the demand. She probably forgot that, even happened already. Alright, we all win gold. We all win the gold. Okay, I guess I'm sorry too. A sense of relief washed over everyone as acceptance of the apology. Mom uncrossed her arms while Mommy shoulders relaxed. Lizzie, eyebrow raised up. You wonder if she thought that he refused her apology. Dad, can I get off the phone now? You couldn't see him, but it was obvious that Cole felt awkward about the situation. He had come off uncomfortable the entire time, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go back to your room if you want. Be sure to say goodbye to everyone. Goodbye first, though. Bye, Lizzie. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Yuki. You perked up at the mention name. You smiled even if he couldn't see it. Bye, Cove. With that said, Cove must have handed the phone to his dad since Mr. Hilden spoke up.
That's a relief.
Oh, well, that ends well, as they say. Thanks for arranging this. I'm sure he appreciated it. As Mom replied, Lizzie tugged on Mom's hand to catch her attention. Can I go now, too?
Good job.
Sure, sweetie. Thank you very much for apologizing to Cove. Mom flashed a brief smile at Lizzie and nodded her agreement. Given permission to leave, Lizzie squared off towards the stairs. She seemed to be feeling much better with the incident behind her. Mom and Mommy returned to the phone, taking it off speaker. They continued to talk to Mr. Holden. I keep calling him Hilden, but we'll go with Holden. You couldn't tell what's it about. You realized that was the end of it all. Lizzie and Cole might not get along, and probably still won't, but they weren't mad at each other anymore. Mom and Mommy weren't upset either. Everything was finally back to normal. With that thought, you retreated to your own room with a spring in your step. Wow, that was actually a very good tale. That's actually a really good one about like just like how kids react and how little things for both parties may not seem a big deal, and it was done in a very mature way about like how, because that could be done in adults thing too. Like many adults push another person's without realizing their plans are bad or good or sharing. So I like that. That was very creative of them, and again, magnificently done. All right, thank you so much, and until next time where we do the long day.